Obviously,
Fire away.
obviously a big one. Barry getting Zakari back. How did that come about, and what do you like about what he can bring to you guys?
I mean, it kind of came about organically once I was surprised when I first saw it on the national wire. Is when I first found out that he was going in the portal. I really had assumed that he was planning on coming back, for another year. Didn't really, so busy with what's going on with our world, I didn't really pay attention to what was going on with him. And then somebody sent me that, off the national wire that he was going in. And then, we obviously once he officially went in, there was contact pretty immediately on his end. And so it came about pretty organically in that regard. And then it ended up being just a good fit. Somebody kind of fit a need of what maybe kind of, somebody that we were looking for, and obviously something that he was looking for. So he brings, obviously experience and as a veteran and knows how to play football, and be a good addition to our room, and excited about the room. I was excited about the room before we added Zakari, and would feel that way very strongly, and it's just a nice kind of icing on the cake, so to speak.
How does his familiarity with you, I don't know if that would accelerate possibly any process, but is there anything that plays in there?
Well, it won't decelerate it, that's for sure. I would think that was probably one of the contributing factors of selling points here, is just there was some, I would say there's probably 75% continuity and terminology from what he knew a few years ago to what we're doing now. We're always, our offense is it's a growing, breathing, living type organism, and if it's not breathing, it's dying, and we always want to grow, and so we're always adding and manipulating and changing words for the better, and so there's some familiarity there, but obviously the fact that that he knows a baseline level of that will be helpful for his transition.
Coach, you've seen Luke Altmaier for more than coming out the second year. How much better does he look to you now than when you first got him? How's that going?
Well, I was saying he's more comfortable in every facet. He's more comfortable in off season. He's more vocal around his team. He knows me better. All those things are just contributors to him improving, just like our whole football team needs to. Our whole offensive football team. Another year in the offense, another year of growth, especially for he was a first-year player last year. So we're excited to see where that goes, and excited about just the development in the room in general, the quarterback room. I think we took some big strides there in the spring, but ultimately that's just a springboard, no pun intended, for what we're trying to get done in the fall, and that's where it matters. And so hopefully we're going to see that come to fruition on Saturdays this fall.
Quarterback recruiting appears to be going pretty well. What are you kind of selling to kids, and is there a particular skill set or profile that you're looking for?
Well, we just like good players, it's kind of like, just like good players. And I felt like we've zeroed in on one here locally in this class that we've done a good job with. Obviously can't comment on that, but and then I think Art has done a really nice job for us, and in particular with the position of just being, he's been my eyes and ears, and he's really aggressive and getting guys in front of me and getting guys on campus, and we are collectively as a group, and I think that pays off. So, you only usually can take one of them. You got to be right, and we feel like we've been right in a lot of cases so far, and so that creates a lot of depth and a lot of competition. That's what you need at this position, at this level, to be successful.
Is the scheme something that attracts the quarterbacks to the school?
Well, I mean, we would hope that it would be, and obviously the university is a great sell. Coach Bielema has got a tremendous track record of development, from in my short time of being a coordinator, which would be the last 4 years of being a coordinator again in college football. I think the quarterback production has been something that's been solid and something that we can sell. It hasn't been perfect. There's things we like more out of that position, but I think guys and quarterbacks have seen that the system and what we're doing is quarterback friendly, and we've gotten good results of that, and I think the guys are drawn to that.
Barry, one more about Zakari. He played a little bit in the slot with you, and Pat's talked about maybe interested in being more versatile. Without Isaiah, I mean, he had a 1,000-yard receiver there. Like, does this open any creative doors for you in terms of moving chess pieces?
Well, I think anytime you add a player that got experienced and had experience at playing 3 different positions, and I know for me directly as an offensive coordinator, I've experienced him playing 3 different positions for me. And so I think that opens up some flexibility for where he might fit and how he might fit. And it's all TBD. Listen, we added another piece of the puzzle, the room, that we feel good about, a good balance of maybe now maturity and youth and guys in between. And it's going to take a village there at that position, and we're excited about all of them. and the opportunities that they're going to get, because they're going to all have a lot of opportunities. And so it's our job to figure out how those pieces of the puzzle. But yeah, sure, there's some natural flex. The more guys you have that can play more positions at that room, the better off you're going to be. And Isaiah did that for us last year. Played out of Zeke, had played X. Pat's played in the slot some. So Hank's played on the perimeter. So the more that they know, the better opportunities it creates for themselves.
In terms of your camp series, Barry and Tim, do you like how that works? And do you guys take a lot of time to figure out how that's going to work from an instruction standpoint? I get a lot of kids tell me the instruction they get at Illinois is uniquely different than a lot of other places they go to.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like Coach B would say, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And so we want to give a camp experience for, whatever the percentage of guys that come to camp are going to be actual recruits, whatever that is. It varies from camp to camp, but obviously not every player that comes to camp is going to be a college prospect. And so we would hope that when they come and spend time with us, when they leave, they can take something away from that experience to learn, to help them become a better player. We take great pride in that. I'm not saying we're doing it better than anybody else. I can't speak for what other people are doing for, but
specifically, I've heard that the numbers being smaller allows for more one-on-one.
Yeah, sure. There's some truth to that. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, we had what, for instance, we had I think 18 quarterbacks the other day and had 3 people working the camp, so you had a 6-to-1 ratio. So I was able to see all 18 of them throw and give some feedback, and we film everything too. And so yeah, we want them to have a great experience. All the while, obviously, we get a chance to evaluate for whether it's for now, for later, for 2 years from now. There was a kid the other day in my position that was here was be a freshman in high school that is probably going to be a college recruit at some point in time. It's hard to fathom, but you start early, and that's one of the benefits of the camp as well.
But how do you feel like you guys have upgraded offense? It seems like Luke's just got a lot of options at the skill, and the way you added in the offensive line, it would seem to like you have some protection. What do you feel like you accomplished this offseason?
Well, I think we've done a good job as a team, and obviously on our side of the ball, I think every addition that we made is, I think, pretty much clearly showed that they're going to be able to help us in some shape or form, and that's always positive. And I think we're probably getting towards the end of that now. Obviously, we don't have a lot of room for many additions at this point. This is kind of who our roster is, and depth is critical. It's a physical league. It's a physical, brutal schedule. And I'm just saying, in the Big Ten, I mean, it's a brutal schedule for everybody. Who you play and the physicality of the league, and you got to have some quality depth there, because you can get thin in a hurry, in certain situations if you're not careful. So I feel like we've addressed that as a team. Offensively, I feel good about the depth there at all positions. And now let's go piece this together and start weaving together what we're going to look like for the fall of 2024 and put our best foot forward.
What have you seen from Justin on the recruiting trail, just in his approach and his first spring or summer?
I've seen who I thought he was. I've seen him work, and he's continued that on and done a great job for us. And there is no secret sauce to recruiting, to being a great recruiter. I think we got a staff full of guys that get it and understand it, starting with our head coach. I think there's not a head coach in the country that is more involved and more active with recruits than Brett is. I'm not saying that there isn't some as equally as involved or whatever. I can't speak to that. I don't ever like when people talking hyperbole or whatever, but I know Coach is extremely involved, and it starts there. Our staff around them extremely involved. I could go right down the line of all the examples I've seen on our staff of our guys being relentless, and that's really what it takes, a relentless mindset, and Step's certainly a part of that, but we've got other guys that are doing that as well. But we're glad to have Justin and what he's brought to the table in recruiting.